How fucked up was the church that you grew up in? I'll go first.
The church that I grew up in was so fucked up that children were being tagged witches and wizards, or said to have been possessed by spirits from the rivers or seas, and that they needed deliverance. The church that I grew up in was so fucked up to the point where there was a time our parish priest decided to host a crusade where he brought in the remains, the corpse of a dead priest who at the time was named a blessed awaiting to be canonized, aka made into a saint. The crusade spanned for a couple of days. People from our parish and other parishes came in the thousands to attend this crusade. So on one of those days, towards the end of the crusade, our priest instructed us all to walk up to the corpse of this dead priest and prayed for whatever we wanted, asking this dead priest to intercede for us and using him as a point of contact to reach God, And that was how we queued up in the thousands and did exactly as our priest had instructed. The fact that nobody saw that and thought, no, something is wrong here. You see, it was bad enough that we're already bowing to images. It was bad enough that we're already drinking the blood and eating the flesh of Jesus. But corpses.
Our church used to demonize Halloween like most because it was scary and evil. So during Hallelujah night, which was a big ass carnival that they had on Halloween to keep all the kids from going out into the streets trick-or-treating, they would do their own version of a haunted house. We would turn the entire second floor of the church into Judgment Day. They'd turn up the heat to like 100 degrees. They'd have strobe lights going, the lights would be off, and then they would have some of us older kids playing either the tormentors or the tormented. So we started off by taking everybody into the room that contained the book of life. And then from there, we sent everybody to hell. Everybody had to go, whether you were 5 years old or 45 years old. Your ass got to go to hell, just so you know this is not where you really want to end up. And they would have us in there grabbing people, pulling them, scratching on them, screaming in their fucking face. Amount of children that would come out of there screaming and crying. They were traumatized. And we thought that shit was okay.
So I just came by this comment and I want to bring it on here so we can talk about it. The comment says, then there is that whole belief that says that enemy only attacks what is precious to God, making you think it's bad if you are not getting attacked. It's crazy how the church, both on the continent and in the diaspora, has damaged the minds of the African people. So as you guys know, I am from a Catholic background, but the parish I grew up in had a prayer warrior father. So our parish priest at the time was a charismatic priest. For those of you who don't know, in the Catholic Church, at least the one in Nigeria, there is this group that's known as the Charismatic. I know there is a signature image when it comes to the Catholic Church and how Catholics worship, right? The whole, they are very calm in their worship. They worship solemnly. They sing a particular way. There is no much giddy, giddy, giddy going on in their worship, right? And some non-Catholics find it boring. They can't stand the going on there, right? But in Nigeria, there is a particular society, I should call it, within the church, right? And they are called or known as the Charismatic Society. This particular society have, can I say, a little bit of Pentecostal in them, if that's okay to say, but I don't talk moving on. So they like a bit of noise, casting and binding, and the whole die by fire activities incorporated into their own modes of worship and prayer as well. I guess counting rosary beads just wasn't cutting it for them, so they decided to add a little bit of action, hence why the Charismatic Society was bettered, I guess. So the Catholic Church in Nigeria have some charismatic priests, and we had one become a parish priest in the parish that I grew up in. And this guy constantly reinforced this message. There was this constant message of the devil doesn't go after empty vessels. If you are being attacked, you are special. Basically saying if you are not being attacked, there is something wrong with you. Why is the devil not after you? If the devil isn't after you, that is a bad thing. This message was difficult for me growing up as an individual because as an individual, I did not have spiritual issues. In my personal life, everything went smoothly for me. I focused on my books. I got the grades I needed. I focused on the things that I can get for myself, and I got them. And so I wasn't having all of these extra battles that was being preached on the pulpits that I needed to have to prove that I am truly a precious child of God. I kid you not, there was a point while I was still a teenager, before this whole deconstruction thing fully kicked in, right? I used to be so worried that I didn't get attacked. So I used to feel, oh, maybe I'm the child of the devil, that's why he left me alone. The church wants people to have problems because that's the only way they will keep coming back. And if you don't have problem, they tell you that is a problem. They fuck you up and tell you they have the cure.